This is Alcomy, empowering those who care. Owners, caregivers, they gon' get you there. Expert insights, real stories, and more. Real strategies to help you grow for sure.
Welcome, everybody, to the Alcomy Podcast, where innovation meets compassion in residential care. I'm your host, Ilija Vrajich, founder and CEO of Alcomy, and a lifetime advocate for raising the standard of care and operating assisted living and adult care homes. We have a very special guest today, Lizzie Williamson. She's known as the excuse buster from down under, which we'll get into. I love that. She's a motivational speaker and author, well known for workplace well-being. Lizzie, thank you so much for agreeing to come on today. Appreciate it.
I'm so happy to be coming to you from the other side of the world.
Yes, it's early morning for you and end of the day for me. I think it's so cool, even though we've been able to do this for years now. I just always find it fascinating that we now, with modern technology, can connect from all around the world. It's so cool.
Yeah, I feel so grateful for it every time as well.
Yeah. So I like to do a little icebreaker game, and I know that a lot of what we'll talk about will be exercise and the importance of that and well-being and mental and all that. So my icebreaker game is kind of like, is it a this or a that? What do you choose? And it's about this. So it's just 5 quick rapid questions, and we'll just kind of go through it. The first one is, would you rather be able to instantly recover from any workout, feeling no soreness whatsoever, or have the motivation of a world-class athlete and never struggle with the want to exercise?
Definitely have the soreness. I used to be a professional dancer, and I love that feeling in my body that I've really worked it and I've had a bit of pain and effort. So I definitely go for that one.
Okay. I probably would go with no soreness as well. But the other question is only be able to do one type of exercise for the rest of your life, but absolutely be amazing at it, or be able to do any exercise you want, but only ever be mediocre at all of them.
Wow, that's really hard. My first feeling is I'll go the one where I'm really good at it, because exercise, I feel like I could be just dancing my whole life. But I also love the walking and jogging, so I'm going to go the mediocre one.
Mediocre. I would probably do that too, because I like variety. I don't like to do the same thing over and over. So I would agree with you on that one. Next one is, this is a good one. Have a personal chef who cooks all your healthy performance enhancing meals, or have a personal trainer who designs and guides you through incredible workouts every day.
Well, for me, it's personal chef, because I was a personal trainer for a long time. So I love developing workouts, and it's very instinctual for me. But I really don't enjoy getting to the end of my day and going, oh, what am I going to cook for dinner? So at the moment in my life, personal chef, oh, that just sounds like a dream.
It does sound like a dream. That's the one that I would pick as well. I feel like I could figure out the trading, and it's the food part that's, because part of that is cleanup, right? I don't like the cleanup part of the food and shopping and all that kind of stuff. So the next question is, be able to exercise outdoors in perfect weather conditions every single time, or have a state-of-the-art home gym where every piece of equipment is inimaginable. It's just amazing. That's a tough one.
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, I think I would always choose outside.
Okay.
And look, perfect condition sounds great, but I tell you what, even if it's raining, whatever, I'll always just get outside. I don't care. I really do love that feeling of being out there.
I do love being outside. I would probably say more of a gym, because I don't like going to regular gyms, because I feel like I have to wait for my weights or the machine or whatever. And just thinking about it, being able to get in and get out, that's probably the one I would go with. But outdoors is a close one. I know my wife would definitely pick the outdoors.
And there's a whole gym outdoors for you as well out there.
That's true. Okay, last question is, be incredibly strong but limited endurance, or have amazing endurance but only moderate strength?
At this time in my life, in perimenopause, I would go for the strength and be really strong. You?
That's what I would say. I would say strength. I would say strength. At my age, I'm a kidney transplant recipient. And so I need to be doing things that are strength-based for many future potential problems that might come from the medications that I have. So I would probably go with strength for sure.
Yeah, strength feels good.
Well, that's cool. Well, thanks for just kind of doing that a little bit there. It's always kind of fun. Let's jump into it. I mean, you're known as the excuse buster from down under. But for those that might not know of you, can you share a little bit about your story? Like how did you get started in this, and why the excuse buster from down under?
It started in a way that probably starts for a lot of us. It was a period of my life that was really challenging. And it was 16 years ago, and I had a baby and a toddler, and I felt so stuck, so exhausted, and so dark. I found myself spiraling into a real feeling of hopelessness. And it was really unrecognizable to me, these feelings. I'd been a really positive action taker person who could always, get herself feeling good. Motivation was something I did for both myself and for those people around me. And here I was just feeling so incapable of taking action and really dark. And it turned out that what I was experiencing was postnatal depression, or postpartum depression, as it's also known in the States. And so I went and saw my doctor, and finally, it took me a really long time actually, because I felt really, really ashamed that I wasn't coping, because I had two healthy children. So I had a roof over my head and a loving family, all those things. And so I just thought, how dare I not be coping? I kept saying to myself, just get on with it, get over it. And that just wasn't working. And so I finally took myself and all the shame that I was feeling inside and went and told my doctor what I was feeling, which was really, really hard. But she was the one who said to me, what you're experiencing here is postnatal depression. And this was 16 years ago, so I hadn't really heard about that yet. I didn't know anybody else. I was just in my play group in there with other mums in my mum's group, just putting on a big smile on my face, going, I'm coping, it's all fine. And probably every other mum was there doing that too. And I'd look around and think, well, everyone else is coping, there's something wrong with me. And probably so many other people there in that room was thinking the same thing. So I thought it was just me, that there was something wrong with me. But of course, that wasn't the case, as it usually isn't. And so she gave me my treatment options, and she said to me something that I'd heard lots of times before, and I'm sure you've heard it, you listening have probably heard it as well, but there was something about hearing it this time, which was, when you get on a plane and they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first before assisting others, that's what you have to do. But I remember thinking, okay, yeah, I know I need to do that, but I don't feel like I've got the time, and I'm so sleep deprived and I'm exhausted. I can't even go to the bathroom on my own without my toddler following me. I just all felt really, really hopeless. And it was at this moment, and something about going to get some professional help. And I thought to myself, I've got to do something. And so when I got home, I was at my kitchen bench, and I used to be a professional dancer, as I mentioned. And so I spent my life on the ballet bar. And when you're at that ballet bar, I was there every morning before school for an hour. You do pliés, knee bends. You're just there doing all these really simple moves. And so I put my hands on that kitchen bench and I said to myself, just move. And I cannot believe, talking to you now, how hard this was to get myself to do. Here I am now 16 years later. But at that point, I got myself to do this one plié. And then I did another one and another. And all I could get myself to do was a couple of minutes. And it felt like, well, really, what's that going to do? Right. There was something about that moment that I felt this little sense of, I could do this again tomorrow, because this actually felt like I was doing something for me. I was putting that oxygen mask on first. And so that's what I did. I did it again the next day and the next and the next. I then started to slowly, over time, there was a ripple effect where I started to get more professional help. I started nourishing myself better. I started hearing about friends of friends that were struggling with their mental health. So I'd film a little video. This is before social media. And I'd film a video and I'd send it to them and say, maybe this might help you a little bit as well. A little piece of the pie in your mental health recovery. And then social media came to be, wrote the book, started doing TV. And in my first book, 2 Minute Moves, That's when the Best Self magazine in the States, that's when they dubbed me the excuse buster from down under. And you've got to say it in an American accent. It sounds so much better. So it was this slow, organic, over time, realizing that I was so stuck in this mindset that it turns out that I wasn't the only one in. I kept talking to people that they were stuck in this mindset too. And so then I started sharing the message, and 16 years later, that's the message that I'm still sharing.
Yeah, I mean, you've been all over. You've been on lots of different talk shows and podcasts and things like that. And what I love about this is that I think oftentimes people, we as human beings, we think there has to be some big change. And what you're saying is, no, it's a small change. It's a 2-minute plié exercise, right? That's all that it can take. But it's also about consistency, right? Too, because if you would have just done that one time and not been consistent with it, that would have been different too, right?
That's right. But sometimes it's that getting started where we feel so stuck. And I had all these rules around what exercise had to look like for me. I felt like I had to be able to get out of the house and go and find that hour to do that gym class and be in certain activewear, have certain equipment, have a certain intensity to get certain results in my body. And if it couldn't look like that, well, then exercise, it's just not for me.
Right.
And I think many of us are stuck in that all or nothing. If it doesn't, if it can't be the all, if it can't follow all the rules that we in the fitness industry have set up about what exercise has to look like, then we do nothing. And so what happens is when we can do a little something and get ourselves started and go, that's possible for me. Let's do that again tomorrow and the next day and the next. And the thing that makes us be able to be consistent with it is the fact that it is so small.
Yeah, so easy. It's not having to get up and go somewhere. Because like you said, these things can be done. And I've seen some of your other videos. I mean, things can be done right if you work. There's things that can be done at your desk, right? There's things that can be done while I think brushing your teeth was another example of one that you've given in the past, right? Like, as I started thinking about it, it's like, that's totally true. And we actually do in our office, we have standing desks. And so we have like I don't know if it's a 10-minute standing time or whatever, and everyone stands, or we'll do different things. But it's true. Those little things, they make such a big difference. There's obviously that part of it, right? You feel it, but there's also science behind it, right? What you're known for, these short, powerful movement breaks, and you talk about like even in the workplace, what's the science behind that from a mental standpoint or psychological standpoint?
Okay, well, imagine in your workday or in your home life, your kitchen, wherever you are, and there's a room that you can go into. And in this room, it's just got aisles and aisles, and it's full of all the pills and potions that you can take if you're there feeling really stressed out but want to feel calmer. If you're feeling really overwhelmed but you want to be able to take action. If your brain's not working for you and you want to get more creative. If you are there just feeling really blah, it's going to help you feel a little bit better. And you go in, no side effects, it's all free. You just take a pill or a potion. It's all there. You're there without question, right? Well, of course, here's the thing. We have that inner pharmacy inside of us. And science and research shows that the way that we access all these incredible things that are inside of us, all these amazing hormones and chemicals, is we get ourselves physically active. Our bodies are designed to function at their best through movement. So let's say, for example, you're there working away at your desk and you're trying to write an email, but those moments where just the words aren't coming. And yes, now you can go to ChatGPT. But if you want to actually come up with some great ideas, and the one way that you can do that is by getting moving in some way. Take a quick walk, even if you can't get out, walk on the spot. There's a study by Stanford University that shows that compared to sitting, walking increases creative output by 60%. And those creative juices continue to flow after you sat back down. One of the reasons for this is because when we're physically active, we release BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is like fertilizer for our brain. All our brain cells in there, it helps them communicate more effectively with each other. We needed this for our survival. And so sometimes we are there in our workday just going, we just got to power on. We can't take a break. We can't do all these things. We just got to power on. That's not how our brain is designed. Our brain is designed to focus when it takes a small break. There's a lot of research about micro breaks, and our brain just loves that. Now, what about when we're feeling maybe anxious or overwhelmed? We can go into our inner pharmacy and access something called endocannabinoids, which is what it sounds like. It's our body's chill pill. It helps us feel calmer. It calms down our parasympathetic nervous system. It helps take us out of that fight or flight into being able to make good decisions. And we get this by doing some simple movements. You can access this by moving your body in a way that you do some stretches in your chair, get your body moving out of that same stuck position. You move, you breathe, and that helps to calm you down. But then, of course, also there's ways that you can access those feel-good hormones, serotonin, which helps counteract cortisol, the stress hormone. When we get physically active, we're able to help ourselves feel better. And then, of course, if we can do this together in some kind of way, because physical activity releases oxytocin, that bonding hormone, it makes us feel more connected with each other. And if you don't think, yes, that maybe I need an hour or half an hour to do that, there's so much research about these short movement breaks. In my book, I had to kind of cut back on all the research I found in terms of there's Columbia University that showed a few minutes of walking every hour helps to reduce your fatigue, puts you in a better mood. Even some squats every hour, it really boosts your energy, helps to regulate your blood sugar level. I mean, I could go on and on, but really it's these small little breaks that we take in our day when we can disrupt this patterns of stress, of overwhelm, of anxiety, of feeling blur, of feeling exhausted. If we can take these little moments to kind of access our inner pharmacy, it can really change our day.
I like that. I like that idea of an inner pharmacy, right? There's so much that we can do within ourselves. And what you're saying, what I'm hearing you saying is it all starts again, going back to that small little 2-minute that probably ends up building on yourself. Because one of the things that I've noticed for myself is that if I do something for 2 minutes, if I feel like I got, do some squats, then all of a sudden I feel like, okay, maybe I want to do a little bit more, and decisions start to change, right? But it's all about starting small. And there's, like you said, there's so much evidence around this. Why, other than the fact that it's hard for us to do, why don't we do it?
Look, our bodies are designed to function at their best and they're moving, but they're also designed to have rest. And so we need that rest. Back in the day when we had to rest, so we were there able to run away from the saber-toothed tiger. So our body goes, oh, no, we need to rest. There's also something really in that, what you're saying, when you start to do something, when you move a little bit, how much more motivated you are and how much your body starts to crave that movement, because your body starts to go, oh, okay, my heart's now pumping a bit of blood and oxygen to my cells, my organs, and my tissue that's now pumping that blood and oxygen up to my brain, helping release all those brain-enhancing mood chemicals. So you start to crave it. But when you're not doing it, you don't really crave that, do we?
Yeah.
It's like we think we're there going, oh, just waiting to feel motivated. But when you were describing that feeling then where you would took a little moment to move in some way, then you felt more motivated to do it later. It's like it's action always precedes motivation. We take some action, then we feel more motivated, if you think about it, rather than sitting there not doing anything. And so, yes, it's hard to do it often because we think, I don't feel motivated. I can't do it. It feels too hard, too big. I've got to, get on my exercise gear and go and get to the gym, and I'm so tired today, rather than thinking, okay, I'm hanging out the washing, I'm going to do some squats at the same time. I'm on the phone, I'm going to take this out for a walk and talk. I'm here at my desk, I've got a couple of water bottles, why don't I just lift them up a few times? I'll do some push-ups here on my wall.
Yeah.
It's hard to do because it's just all feels so big. So that there's also some other ways that we can make it much easier to do as well, even these small things, so that we don't get to the end of the day and think, oh gosh, I meant to do the 2 minutes and I didn't do it. There's ways to actually make it easier.
So the world that we kind of live in and work in is the assisted living, adult care. So it's taking care of other people, medical, right? It's very high stress, in these care environments. There's a lot going on, a lot of change. What's the best type of 2-minute exercise? Is it working those quads? Is it doing squats? Is it going for a walk? If you could choose one exercise that a caregiver could do in a high stress situation when taking care of others, what would that be? What would you recommend?
Yeah, I guess, I know you said one, but we'll probably go two, because let's talk about, first of all, that let's talk about the mental, and then we'll talk about the physical, because there's both of those things in the job, isn't it? It can be very physical.
Of course.
It's demanding. So how do we take what move can we do for our bodies? And then, of course, there is the emotional side, the mental side, and what that takes to do that. So with the mental side, if you can take a small walk, I think that would be such a wonderful thing to do, just that walking outside. Or even if you can't, what I would do is attach some movement to some breath. For example, going somewhere private, in the back room or somewhere, or even in the bathroom. I know lots of people who do their 2-minute moves in the bathroom. And you could do some nice big breaths in as you lift your arms up high. Breathe in, lift up, and breathe out. And then again, breathe in, lift up. Your arms are reaching up to the ceiling. If it's more of a case of, oh my gosh, I am about to explode with all of this stress and overwhelm and everything, I've just been giving so much, then I would think about doing some kind of punching. It's like the shadow boxing, punching out to the front, punching to the side, doing some kicks. If you're feeling it all in your body and the breaths and the reaching up to the ceiling isn't getting rid of it, then I would do something more physical. So punch, shake, hit, just let it go. We hold so much stuff in our bodies.
Release.
Release it. And then on the physical side, if there is something in particular that you are doing some repetitive motion, so some kind of leaning over, lifting, and you're feeling it somewhere in your body, and my guess is probably lower back. And if you're giving a lot of support to people physically and mentally, often it's our lower backs that really feel it. So I would think about giving some love in your day to your lower back. Now, your lower back, if you're doing a lot of contracting and leaning over, it loves for you to extend. So I would reach up one arm and lean over to the side. So you've got one arm up, lean over. So you're looking away from that arm down to the floor. Then I would reach the other arm up and lean over and reach down there. Because when we're spending that time contracting down, that's when our muscles, joints, everything starts to contract. So think about how you can extend, open, and lengthen in your day. Because not only is that great for your body, it also sends a signal to your brain that says, oh, okay, I'm feeling a bit better. I've got this open stance. I must be feeling okay. And that helps you mentally as well. The physical and mental, it's also connected.
That's great. Yeah, I think it sounds like what you're saying is that a lot of these facilities should have some kind. I mean, a little background on myself. We used to own facilities, and I'm thinking, there's a lot of burnout, a lot of turnover, both from like a admin level to your staff, and maybe a little 5-minute, even like simple things that you were doing mentally, like we're talking about, can really, really change people's feeling about what they're doing and taking care of themselves. And it doesn't really take that much, right? It's just so small, so it's easy to be implemented.
Yeah. That's right. It can do it at the start of a shift. That's this. Okay, we're going to start doing a 2-minute move here, 5 minutes, whatever. It doesn't matter. What's something you can do in your breaks? Have some ideas there. What you can do in your break. If you've got a staff meeting, doing this together in your meeting, really looking at the places that you can start small and start implementing this idea of, okay, I'm going to go in, access the inner pharmacy and find a move that I can do for me that helps me feel good. And it's just for 2 minutes.
That's great. Yeah. What would you say, or maybe I guess what I'm wondering, are there any, I imagine there are, but are there any statistics that you can share of when companies implement even something small like this in their facilities and its relationship to, workplace happiness or, lowering that turnover in staff? Again, because that's a big thing that we deal with in this, in this industry. I'm just curious if you had any statistics around how that actually, these kind of things actually change those things for owners.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, physically, there's a statistic and research that shows that companies that break up these long days with some intermittent stretching, it reduces musculoskeletal pain and injuries amongst their people by 72%.
Wow.
Which is pretty huge. And
That's
when you're
huge.
injured and when you're in pain, you don't feel very good.
Yeah.
Do you? It really gets in your way of being there in the present moment, of being able to help. It's just that niggling thing that we have with us. So when I see companies that they actually help their people break up these long work days with some kind of little stretches, movements, something like that, these moments to take care of ourselves, then that really obviously makes a big difference in staff showing up as their best selves and being able to show up at all. And then, of course, you probably heard of presenteeism. So you're there, but you're not really there because you're not feeling really, really good.
Right.
And there's been statistics and studies that shows with bringing in some kind of exercise program, how that increases that engagement by over double.
Wow.
It's something about, how we can have this culture of well-being. But also what I found is the companies and I don't have any hard stats on this, only the feedback that I get from the companies when they do this type of stuff together and how they feel so much more connected with each other, how they have so much more fun when they do this together in person or virtual meetings. The feedback I get on that is so huge, because all of a sudden it's a moment where, okay, we've got all this stuff to do, we've got stuff to talk about and all this serious stuff and everything. But you know what? We're also going to have this moment of fun and connection together.
Yeah.
Makes you want to come into work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of those things where we're talking about how the individual person feels physically, mentally, right? All those psychologically, all those things. But then, and there's all these great benefits there. But then, like you just talked about, I mean, if you're increasing the way people feel, you're going to reduce call offs. You're going to reduce workers' comp claims, insurance type based things, right? I mean, we probably could go on and on about all those benefits. And again, going back to kind of the theme of what you were saying from the beginning is you got to start small, start with those 2-minute things. Or I love the idea. Actually, I love the idea of, hey, we're going to do this at the beginning of the shift or at shift. A lot of facilities have shift change, right? And so they're talking about certain things. Why not take that opportunity? Okay, while we're talking, let's all do 10 squats.
That's right. And at the beginning, people are going to, if you're the person, you listening, you go, okay, I'm going to start instigating this. Now, people might look at you at the beginning and go, oh, no. I mean, every time I walk out on stage or get on camera and I tell everyone, right, we're going to take a moment to move. This is what I hear. Oh, she's making us move. I don't want to move. This is embarrassing. I don't want to do this. I don't feel like it, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But let me tell you, if you're the person that goes, you know what, we're going to do this simple stretch for 2 minutes, those groans will so quickly turn to thank yous, because people always, 100% of the time, say to me, I didn't realize how much I needed that. And that thing that might feel a bit awkward or uncomfortable at the beginning on that first shift, maybe the second shift, by that fifth shift, it'll just be something that everybody does and it's totally accepted and you love it and it's much more comfortable. Just got to get through that little moment of uncomfortableness, of resistance from people. It's fine. You can resist. It's all right. We're just going to do it anyway. You don't have to like it. Don't worry. But here's the science behind it. Here's why we're doing it. And then it very, very quickly, and I've seen this happen with so many organizations, it just so quickly becomes, it's the norm. It just becomes something of like, I can't believe we didn't used to do this. I can't believe we were here so not taking care of our bodies, our brains, our mental health, because now we've just seen this is so easy to do, and it's fun, and it's a way to boost connection with each other.
Yeah, no, it's totally true. I'm being reminded. So one of our employees, his name's Eric, and he's always initiating, hey guys, plank time, or like he's the one that okay, stand up time. And so all these things that you're talking about are things that I'm thinking he's definitely the one instigating it. And it's true, it does feel different. Some of us were doing planks and we hadn't done planks in a long time, and we're like, wow, I didn't realize I could go that long, and then one of our guys, Zach, he's over here setting records in the office, and we're all cheering him on. And you're right, it just feels different, and so it's fun. I think that our audience, I think that the assisted living world would greatly benefit from these little things. I just think back to how things might be different when I was running my facilities, implementing some of these things that are small, right? Because it's kind of exhausting in these environments, and you've worked in a lot of workspaces and conferences and things of that nature, and energy is kind of a big thing, right? So my question to you is, what is the biggest energy drains that you see when it comes to people's daily routines? Is there something that we're doing besides exercise, that's also contributing to our energy drains?
Yeah, it just reminds me, I've watched this show recently called Drive to Survive. Have you seen it? It's the Formula One drivers. Okay, I never thought that I would be into Formula One.
My son, my oldest, is into it, so maybe he knows about it. I don't know. It sounds good though.
I'm sure he does. It's a great show. It highlights the top Formula One drivers in their profession. They are high performers, and when I watch them in their cars and they are racing to the finish line, and it's milliseconds count to who gets there first. But so they're there and they're in the zone and they're driving for hours, and then they're called by their team. They're hearing their headset to box. They've got to go take a pit stop. And I was watching it must be the last thing that they want to do, because they are there, so focused, just wanting to, power through their day. But yet they've got to take that pit stop, and their team replaces their tires. They might change the tires because the conditions have changed. It might have started raining. The tires worn down. Maybe something's happened with the engine, and then back they get onto the track. Now they're behind, but now they've got their vehicle in a better way. So their vehicle is able to go faster and perform better. And I just started looking and thinking, that is so us in our work days. We're there powering on, just pushing through. We don't want to take breaks. We don't want to stop because, we've got to get all this stuff done. And those breaks don't even matter anyway. I don't have that hour to go for that walk, so that's not going to count. Doing a few minutes or a few seconds, whatever. So I just keep going. And what so many of us then starts to happen is our vehicle, our body, our brain, our mental health, it just starts to struggle. And that's why we're trying to get to the finish line, but we burn out before we get to the finish line, and we're exhausted. And I think if we could take these pit stops for ourselves, because that way, that just staying on the track, it's just such an energy zapper. We need these moments to take our pit stops, to do something that energizes us, that helps us feel more alive, that helps take care of ourselves. It puts our oxygen mask on first. Then we get back on track in our work days, and our bodies and are going to be able to get to that finish line in a much more efficient, sustainable way, that when we then get home to our families, our friends, our loved ones, we've still got more to give to everybody else.
Yeah, that reminds me of Stephen R. Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and he talks about sharpening the saw. I guess I always thought of that principle as being like a weekly or a monthly thing, but what you're saying is there's this sharpening of the saw, or getting that pit stop even throughout your workday, so that you can be optimal instead of just kind of burning out even in a day. I think that oftentimes, at least I've thought, and this has kind of changed my mind, is that I always think of burnt out as like overextending a sustained amount of time, a week or a month, but really it's in that same day. You can be burnt out in that same day. And it could be just because you didn't take those pit stops, right?
Yeah, and those pit stops, research shows they reset stress. They help lift up our energy. They put us in a better mood. They help calm our anxieties. They help strengthen and make our bodies more physically able for what we're having to do. It's in those pit stops. There's so much magic in the pit stops, but the problem is that we think they don't count. We think it has to be the big thing. We don't trust in these small little pit stops. But if you think about at the end of a day, if you've powered through, you've taken no moments, so you've just been giving to everybody around you, you get to the end of the day, you get home, what have you got left? Nothing. Whereas if you're in your day and instead you're like, I'm going to take these little moments for me. I'm going to put my oxygen mask on. I'm going to take these pit stops. I'm going to keep... My lower back's been killing me all day. Okay, every hour I'm going to do a 2-minute stretch and help it out. The stress and that this is building all day. Okay, I'm going to take this little moment every hour or so to help de-stress. What do I need to do? Do I need a box? Do I need a walk? Do I need a stretch? Do I need to breathe? And if you think about over that 8-hour period, perhaps in a day, and you've done that, taken that 8 times in your day, and then you walk out the door of work and get home, you're going to be in a much better way to then still be able to give to others around you because you have taken those moments to put your oxygen mask on first.
Yeah, I love that. I love that analogy. And I've heard that before, but I guess I've heard it in all different scenarios, but never really kind of in your own personal work day, especially in this setting, like going back to, it's high stress and you cannot care for someone else effectively if you are not caring for yourself. There's only so much that you can give. And so the benefits that we're talking about here is that you're able to now, in our setting, you're able to provide better care because you have better care of yourself, which, with all these things, and I've read certain things over time, but you gain a greater level of patience, right? When you're not in pain and you have that energy, right? And so all these things are just so beneficial to just everybody. And again, going back to what we said before, it's all about starting small and then working your way up from there and then being consistent. What would you say to those that, because we can get going and things can get crazy. What's some advice on just consistency? Maybe you've been doing, you've been on a roll and then you fall off, right? And you start to see yourself spiral. Yeah. Any thoughts there?
I would attach it to something that you're already doing. So do the habit stacking, which we know from research and science is so effective. So find one moment in your day. Just start with one. Don't think that you have to do it every hour if you're not doing anything at the moment. So one thing that you're doing in your day right now that you could attach some kind of moment of self-care to. For example, if you grab a cup of tea each day, when you flick the switch on the kettle, put your hands on the kitchen bench and do 10 push-ups. You could start doing that. For example, if you are there and you're someone who will go in and grab some water at some point in your day and take a sip of your water, that is your cue. And you could always have a Post-it note on there to stretch, to squat. You take a sip of water, right, I'm going to do some squat. I'm going to do that back stretch that I was talking about. I'm going to take a box. Find those little moments of something that you do that can be your cue to take a moment to move. It could be a meeting that you do. It could be a phone call that you make. It could be a certain person that you're caring for, and then after you leave, it could be the start of your shift. Find that cue. Find a little way that you can do some kind of movement that works for you. It doesn't matter how small, how simple. You don't have to work up a sweat. Just start moving in some kind of way. And then the third part of this is what so many of us don't do, but this has been such a game changer for me, is to get that reward, is to celebrate the fact that you've taken this moment for you. You've taken this moment to put your oxygen mask on, to give back to yourself. It's so huge when you are a giver and a carer to do that. And the way that you celebrate it is by simply, you could say to yourself, good on you. Well done for doing that for you. You could find a reflection in a computer, a window, something, a mirror, give yourself a high five. You could do a little fist pump. Yes, look what I have done for me. And you can do this away from everybody, but you could also do this in front of people as well, in front of the people that you're caring for, your colleagues, so that and you go, yes, I just did a stretch, everybody. Hey, how good is that I took that moment for me?
Yeah.
So I think that's a really powerful thing to do. Start with one thing that you can do for 2 minutes that's attached to something that you're already doing, and then make sure you celebrate that either on your own or celebrate it together in your team.
I like that. I think as a choice of, as an action for myself, I think what I'm going to do to stack that is when brushing teeth, I'm going to do some squats. That seems like an easy thing to do. And you do it twice a day, so get some good squats in there.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. And when that voice in your head says to you, oh, really, come on, that's not going to do anything. What's that going to do? I want you to become your own excuse buster from down under. And you just can say that back to that voice. No, this is 2 minutes. All I have to do is 2 minutes. And the reason that I'm doing it is because I'm going to be soon able to do another 2 minutes and another and another. And all these little moments really do add up. Ignore that voice that's just been telling us for so long that the little things don't matter. They so do. 2 minutes is so much better than no minutes.
I love that. This has been great. I think that this is definitely something that, again, is a no-brainer. It's easy to do. Anybody can do it. Any facility out there, any company out there. I'm taking away even from today, the creative brain. When we have our creative development meetings, I think we're going to go for a walk before we jump into those kind of design sessions, because of what you said today. It's really going to increase things. So that's great. Where can people find, your book? How can they learn more about what you're doing? What's the best place to do those things?
If you put in the search, my name, Lizzie Williamson, 2 Minute Moves, you'll find the books. You'll find a whole lot of videos on my YouTube channel that you can do. And I think a lot of these videos will be really relevant for you if you're there working in aged care facilities. Little moments that you can take a stretch, ways that you can move together on your meetings, ways that you can de-stress, all of those things are all there. And, as we've been talking, I've been thinking about, I haven't worked in aged care, but just even that feeling I remember having as a mom, and how I feel that really relates to probably you listening. This idea that I felt what made me a great mom and a great person was being selfless and giving everything to everyone else. And it was selfish to do things for me. I thought that's what made me a good person. Yeah. But it turns out that was not sustainable. And what actually the best thing that I could do for those people around me that I was trying to be selfless to was to put my oxygen mask on, to give back to myself, and to take these moments to help me feel more energized, more stronger, in a better headspace, and just feeling better. And I think that's a really big thing for you listening to remember. That is so important for you to take these little moments for you. It doesn't make you selfish. It makes you be able to work in a way, give back to others the way that you are actually really wanting to.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. You can't take care of someone else if you don't take care of yourself. And I think it's time that as a society, we put ourselves first and we take care of ourselves. Otherwise, I dealt with this. I don't talk about it too much, but back in 2015, I actually had a pericardial effusion and my heart stopped, and it changed my life forever, because I realized how quickly life could be taken from us. And so if you don't take care of yourself, you could, you may regret it. And like we're talking about, there's little things to start. And so I've really enjoyed this conversation. I appreciate you coming on all the way from the other side of the world. Again, this is so cool being able to do this nowadays with technology. But I appreciate you coming on. And audience, I highly recommend that you implement these things. Go check out Lizzie's YouTube page, all her content. I did have a chance to take a look at things, bunch of small little activities that you can do. You don't even have to think about what you need to do. She's got them all there for you. So go check it out. Read the book if you want to get down to the statistics and stuff, which I think I'm going to pick it up. But thank you again for coming on. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. Please make sure that you send me a video of you doing your squats when you're brushing your teeth.
I will. You know what we're going to do? We'll do the next time we do our in company one where we do the planks. We'll send some videos.
Oh, I love that. I love videos. And you listening, if you end up doing a 2-minute move somewhere, sometime, then please send that to me too. Send me a message that you've done it. I love to hear from you, and I'll be there cheering you on.
Maybe we'll do a hashtag, some kind of hashtag assisted living 2-minute busters or something. I don't know. We'll see what we can do.
Love it.
Thank you, Lizzie. I have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
This is Alcomy, empowering those who care. Owners, caregivers, they gon' get you there. Expert insights, real stories, and more. Real strategies to help you grow for sure. This the Alcomy Podcast. Creating better spaces, it's much to share. This the Alcomy Podcast. Help you build, grow, and thrive in the future of care. This the Alcomy Podcast.